One Zambia, One Nation, it's a pleasure to be with you once more on ZANIS News. Let's look at the headlines. 10th Zambia-South Africa Joint Defense Committee meeting opens in South Africa. President Hichilema expected to grace the 2024 Women's Day commemoration. Inmates at Milima Correctional Facility embrace skills training. Plus, Muchinga northwestern provinces to record flash floods. And now the news in detail. The 10th session of the Zambia-South Africa Joint Defense Committee meeting has officially opened in Pretoria, South Africa. Speaking during the official opening, Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Norman Chipakupaku says Zambia remains committed to supporting defense and security matters affecting the Southern African Development Community, SADC countries. James Malumba forwarded this report.
South Africa is the host for the 10th session of the South Africa-Zambia Joint Defense Committee meeting. The meeting, which has brought together military personnel from both Zambia and South Africa, are in Pretoria discussing different matters bordering on defense and security. South Africa Acting Secretary for Defense, Tobekile Gamede, states the importance of this meeting.
We are expected to ensure that our countries remain stable and they remain peaceful, and because peace and stability is a prerequisite for economic development and economic growth. This meeting therefore avails that opportunity for both of us to take stock of our work and seriously pay attention to the challenges we are both facing. It is important that we review and reflect on what we agreed on when we had our meeting in 2022. Where we have not achieved, we must sit down, get to the root cause of why we couldn't achieve what we have.
Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Norman Chipakupaku is leading the Zambian delegation.
We are grateful to the South African National Defence Forces for the invaluable support being provided to Zambia Defence Forces, including facilitation of passage of defence and public goods. More importantly, we are committed to cementing our mutual relationship through various instruments such as the Memoranda of Understanding and the implementation agreements signed between the two defence wings. Chair, it is also our humble expectation that various exchange programs ranging from information sharing, human resource development, research and development, technical support, as well as witnessing or commissioning will be escalated for the benefit of our two republics and the region at large.
Mr. Chipakupaku also underscored Zambia's success in the area of defense and security.
At home, we remain committed to protecting the territorial integrity of the country. In addition, our military has continued to provide support towards government programs aimed at addressing the plight of the general citizens of Zambia, including food production and disaster management.
From such meetings, it is expected that defense and security matters for the two countries will be enhanced. Jane Simalumba ZANIS in Pretoria, South Africa.
The Ministry of Information and Media has recognized two Zambian journalists for scooping third position in the 2023 Southern African Development Community SADC Print and Broadcast Media Awards. Minister of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana has described the SADC Awards as a platform to honor outstanding work in the field of print, photo, television, and radio journalism. Mr. Kawana said the awards stand as a testament to the commitment and dedication of journalists across the region to disseminate information that supports the process of regional cooperation and integration. He was speaking at the launch of the 2024 SADC Media Awards in Lusaka. He also recognized two journalists, Jonathan Mukuka from Zambia News and Information Services and Paul Shalala from the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation for scooping the third position in the SADC Broadcast and Print Award categories, respectively. And Director for Press and Media Development at the Ministry of Information and Media, Moden Mayembe, said the awards are given to journalists that publish or produce articles on the SADC development agenda, adding that previously the award was focused on political, but now has added the economic agenda.
It is with great pleasure that we meet here today to launch the 2024 Southern African Development Community SADC Media Awards. This prestigious event serves as a beacon of excellence in journalism, recognizing the invaluable contributions of media professionals in promoting regional cooperation and integration within the SADC member states. I encourage all eligible journalists to seize this opportunity to showcase their work and contribute to the vibrant media landscape of our region. The deadline for receiving submissions is 30th March 2024. In addition to launching the 2024 SADC Media Awards, we have the privilege of recognizing the achievements of two of our own journalists, Jonathan Mukuka, the principal editor, Zambia News and Information Services, ZANIS, and Paul Shalala, a senior reporter at Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, ZNBC, who distinguished themselves by securing the third position in the print and television categories in the 2023 competition. A big hand.
Excited to enter this competition, having seen the other journalists having entered the same and having excelled. I knew that even with me it wasn't going to be difficult. So for me, I had two features that I entered. One was on what I saw in Lesotho, where I went to cover the inauguration of the Lesotho new Prime Minister.
Means that we have the capacity to actually even go to number 1 or number 2. So this award has actually motivated me to work even harder.
We continue with the news. Zambia will tomorrow join the rest of the world to commemorate the International Women's Day. President Hakainde Hichilema is expected to grace the national event in Livingstone. We have more in the following report.
Zambia will tomorrow join the rest of the world to commemorate the International Women's Day. President Hakainde Hichilema is expected to grace the national event in Livingstone. All is set for the celebrations and the women have their own expectations.
Tomorrow it will be our day, Women's Day. We are going to enjoy it. We expect more as women. We need to be empowered and have more monies for ourselves.
I'm expecting a lot, especially in terms of women empowerment. At least we should empower a woman, and if you empower a woman, you empower the whole nation.
As women, we feel we need more positions. We are capable, and we just want the President, His Excellency, Hakainde Hichilema, to hear this. We don't want a situation where, when positions come, they're interested in men. As the women, we have the power, and we can do it. We are capable of taking this world forward.
The exhibitors are also setting up to showcase various goods and services offered.
So I can see we are good to go. It's a well-packaged event. And that's the... For exhibitors, over 40 exhibitors. Persons with disabilities are also part and parcel of the exhibitors that we have for this 2024 International Women's Day. I can't wait to see a 3-year-old girl who is also going to showcase something under Ministry of Education. We have jets. So on top of jets, the 3-year-old, she's going to showcase something.
Ethel Chanda, ZANIS in Livingston.
Immigration Ladies Foundation Dollar Chapter have donated assorted items such as mattresses, sanitary pads and diapers, among others, to Arthur Davison Children's Hospital. Speaking during the donation, Foundation Coordinator Cynthia Ngatsa also announced plans to adopt a ward at the hospital. Here is a report.
Celebrating International Women's Day with the theme dubbed as Invest in Women and Girls, Accelerate Progress, Immigration Ladies Foundation Dollar Chapter has donated assorted items to Arthur Davison Children's Hospital in Ndola District.
Membership for this foundation includes uniformed officers like ourselves and non-uniformed female officers under the Immigration Department, spouses of male officers, and retired female officers. The Foundation's mission is to help the less privileged, especially the women and the children, so that they can also live a dignified life. The Foundation wants to contribute to the investment in women, who are a cornerstone for inclusive societies.
Arthur Davison Children's Hospital Senior Medical Superintendent has received the items donated with a warm heart, reiterating that the hospital provides pediatric health services to children in the northern part of the country.
The hospital provides pediatric and surgical health services to children who are aged between 0 to 14 years of age, and we actually receive referrals from various provinces. We are a regional center and 20 bed spaces. Today, the hospital has grown in bed capacity, and we now have 279 bed spaces available. If I did not mention the tremendous works that our government has been doing at our institution. The government has employed various categories of health personnel and has provided different medical machinery to enhance on the service delivery here at this institution. So your gesture as ladies from Immigration Department is a symbol of unity of purpose.
However, a mother from Mpongwe has appreciated the help the Immigration Ladies Foundation has rendered to her. With such donations, it is evident that government and its cooperating partner are working towards enhancing service delivery at the hospital. Jacqueline Moba, ZANIS in Ndola.
Plan International Zambia has donated over 1,500 solar water purification kits as one of its strategies to facilitate access to clean drinking water for selected households in Chembe District. Flagging off the distribution exercise on behalf of Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Maiti Mumba, Chembe District Commissioner Christopher Mwansa said government values the initiative to promote potable water and good sanitation in the district to avoid waterborne diseases. More in the following report.
Plan International Zambia has donated 1,512 solar water purification kits as part of its efforts and intervention to provide access to clean drinking water for its program beneficiary households in Chembe District. Flagging off the distribution exercise, Chembe District Commissioner Christopher Mwansa said government values Plan International's initiative to promote potable water and good sanitation across Chembe District. Mr. Mwansa said Chembe District welcomes the solar water purification kits program as it is a strategic measure in preventing poor sanitation and contaminated drinking water among the earmarked rural households.
And Luapula Permanent Secretary, I'm honored to be here with you today to demonstrate our continued partnership with Plan International here in Luapula Province and to strengthen the healthcare systems in Zambia. Here we are witnessing the handover of 1,010 solar water purification kits from Plan International Zambia. This support could not have come at a better time than this when the country is experiencing cases of cholera and other diarrheal diseases.
Plan International Zambia says it will continue implementing its programs in Chembe district
that advances children's rights and equality for girls, the distribution of a unique innovation, the solar water purification kit, which will enable households without access to improved water sources to have clean water in a portable and environmentally friendly way.
Chief Kasomalwela of Chembe district has commended Plan International for the gesture.
Amaskulu, ipatala, amenshi, kupendentanda kuandua. Apa eposhiki pakulika bakulani ndetotela sana fi.
The beneficiaries are elated.
Abasakamana inchende Yesu ine ya Chembe ukupitira mu bana besu. Mu masikuzi balikula ama toilets. Ero kabiri abana besu barabaforesha ifyola ifyakusenderamo ama books. Ero nama books, nama pens, nama pencils. Mukwarinde pero kutotela ku chitungu ichikalamba ichaba plan.
David Ndovi for ZANIS in Chembe district.
More in the news. Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkandu says government has made strides in meeting some of the aspirations and desires of the youths in alleviating their challenges. Speaking when he featured on ZANIS Television's Be the Change program, Mr. Nkandu says government has created opportunities such as employment and various empowerment programs. Audrey Kalenga gives us more.
On the 12th of March 2024, Zambia will once again commemorate the National Youth Day under the theme Zambia at 60 Be the Change. In an effort to improve the livelihoods of youth in the country, government has put in place many interventions aimed at addressing some of the challenges faced by young people. Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkandu has highlighted some of the interventions being undertaken by government, such as job creation and youth empowerment.
There are a lot of initiatives. You are aware that this government, first and foremost, had to even launch what we are calling the State of the Youth report. I think in there are a lot of issues that were highlighted, those that came from the young people, interventions that we've done as government, and opportunities. Because I think having challenges is one thing, but also there are also a lot of opportunities. I think someone told me that between prosperity and poverty, I think there are opportunities. So if we don't have opportunities, then we may have a lot of people that may claim to be in the poverty cycle, and yet they are not supposed to be there. So answering your question, initiatives, I think, have been provided by this ministry, more like interventions. Some of them where we have talked about opportunities that lies in each and every ministry. When you talk about job creation, those are initiatives that this government has put in place just to alleviate the sufferings of the young people.
And some of the youths have risen to the occasion to explore opportunities in the agribusiness and other sectors.
One thing that we've been lacking as a ministry is data capture. I think I've been talking about that with my officers. No wonder we are trying by all means to make sure that we digitalize all these resource centers. And we have started with, I think, Mufumbwe, where UNDP had donated some equipment in ICT. But we're trying to put up a digital platform in every resource center so that maybe we can use that, I think, to collect data, because I think data entry has been a challenge. When you ask me, we have youths in every sector, and for me to know who is doing what, I think has been a challenge. Maybe as we put up these digital platforms, our concentration would be how many people are graduating every year, and from which institutions, from which sectors, so that even as we create opportunities, we'll be able to tap into that data and say, these are supposed to go this way. In agriculture, you are aware that if there is a sector that could alleviate the unemployment levels in the country's agriculture sector. But it's not so attractive to the young people, unfortunately. I'll give an example, two examples. We have under some of the programs that we do have in this ministry, the National Settlement Scheme. We have so many hectares of land in Mponge, for instance, so many hectares of land in Polokoso and in Mfumbwe. We wanted to say to these young people so that they can as well engage themselves in agriculture activities.
And some of the youths have risen to the occasion to explore opportunities in the agribusiness and other sectors.
Number one, ndakatarika kusunga tumakuku tunini twamushi. Tuma local chickens because turi easy kuchana. Ndakaona kwamba yapa ndichite 100 kwacha nanda mwambira muntu ampeko ka 5 kwacha nganda chikonsha adi mukarakaraisa nakene. Chandikaonewo kukarama kukapa manshi afri ateshakura. Mukuchita vovo ndachikonsha kuchita raise tumali ndapanga kapoti mpaka tataika kula ko tuma broilers andime. Apo pamwe ndajira kwa rumbara washisha rubana akulima china kuchireka. Yesamfura walima kwapa vantu na bakubona nchoto chitakochite effort baraba achila moyo wakukanda kukuchafu kwinda kwamba iko shitebo so ndakalima ho mwaka dashanga tuma melon kanta chite fertilizer msam but bane banga bakabona effort nyanga kuchite jwa chikoncha kwamba kosa wesaka ubikeo so vantu barachafa muntu utokwenda not kwimika nabo.
Audrey Kalenga for ZANIS in Lusaka.
Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Assistant Director for Child Development, Changanongoi, has urged non-state actors to rally with the government in protecting children's rights. Mr. Ngoi says faith-based organizations and religious bodies should take a leading role in ensuring that vices that affect the development of children are addressed in their congregations. He was speaking during an awareness meeting on the Children's Act No. 2 of 2022 with the clergy in Chipata district. Details in the following report.
The country has in the recent past been recording unfortunate incidences that violate the rights of children. Forced marriages, teenage pregnancies, drug abuse are some of the many vices that are affecting children. It is for this reason that the Department of Child Development under the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services has engaged the clergy in Eastern Province to raise awareness on these issues.
And we are saying religious or churches or groupings should ensure that they take care of the children in their churches. We have seen children getting pregnant for going to choir. Am I lying? They go for choir, they come back pregnant. They go for church meeting, they come back pregnant, they come back defiled.
The clergy have welcomed the initiative while calling for enhanced awareness on the matter.
The development of the children is very key for the church. We cannot have a strong church if the welfare of the children is neglected. So we welcome this law and also the policies that enhances the well-being of the children.
I just want to thank government for the initiative which has actually happened today when there was that interactive meeting where we've been told about children's rights. I think for us this is the right way to go because we know our children are at risk and the information we received will position the church to do even much better.
The Department of Child Development is also expected to interact with government line ministries and child care facilities. Niza Vomo reporting for ZANIS News in Chipata.
Meanwhile, the Zambia Red Cross Society has supplied school requisites to 300 orphaned and vulnerable children drawn from 5 schools in Kapirimposhi district. District Commissioner Francis Hasalama has handed over the school requisites that include school shoes and books to the beneficiary pupils. Carlos Wonder brought us this report.
School dropout rates are predominantly high among orphans and vulnerable children overseas. And for overseas who remain in school, lack of school supplies remains a challenge. To enhance school attendance and performance of overseas, the Zambia Red Cross Society has supported 300 children with school requisites in Kaprimposhi district.
Education is enabling entitlement to children regardless their circumstances. As Red Cross Society, we hope this support will be valued by recipients and go a long way to enhancing their education.
District Commissioner Francis Asalama has handed over the school requisites with a call on guardians to desist from exploiting overseas for economic activities at the expense of their educational progress.
His Excellency the President Hakainde Hichilema, he has brought this free education so that these children can go to school. So don't hinder their programs, they are growing. We need these children. My appeal to you who are getting in contact with these parents, where these children are coming from, please, let's work as one team.
Beneficiary pupils are grateful for the support.
As we go in the street, we saw some free dance and ice cream. So now that Red Cross has given me this item from the first school, I'm grateful and I promise I was grateful.
Carlos Wunda, ZANIS, Kaprimposhi.
Inmates at Kasama Central Correctional Facility, commonly known as Milima, have taken up skills training. The inmates studying tailoring can now design the Zambia Correctional Service combat uniform for inmates and many other outfits. Helen Walia gives us this report.
They have not allowed their circumstances to define their lives. These inmates at Kasama Central Correctional Facility, commonly known as Milima, have taken up skills training in carpentry, general agriculture and tailoring, among others, very seriously. From this table, some of these inmates can now design the Zambia Correctional Service combat, uniforms for inmates and many other outfits. They share their story with ZANIS.
For now, I am a carpenter. Nalisambila bali tufunde fya kupanga ifipuna amabedi fintu fyefingi fyalekanalekana ngefe omwene fe balangishe nifwe botupanga fwe my inmates.
John Pundu is the assistant superintendent at Kasama Correctional Facility.
We start production of these combats. We have actually started this year. These combats are being made from a piece of cloth, which is a raw, which we bought. We are doing this in line with the training of the VETA students, which attend a level 3 trade test at the end of their training. So we make combats, inmates uniforms, and this is just a fundraising to enhance our training standards.
Senior Superintendent Abraham Lupindula thanked government for its continued financial support through the provision of vocational training funds.
We are very grateful to the government because they've even given us a fund called the Vocational Training Fund, which comes every month to assist us buy materials, training materials for these inmates. So we are very grateful to the government for making our program very possible that the inmates can now learn different skills. Because some of these inmates, they commit offenses because they don't have what to do.
Helen Walia for ZANIS in Kasama, Northern Province.
In other news, Northern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape says the creation of the Presidential Delivery Unit at provincial level will help to unlock the economic potential in the region. Speaking in an interview with ZANIS after chairing the technical committee meeting in Kasama, Mr. Mwape notes that the creation of PDU will stimulate economic development in the province. He adds that this will also help to track development priority areas as it will significantly improve the delivery of services to the members of the public in the province. He notes that the PDU Technical Committee that has been constituted at the provincial level has already identified 10 priority areas in order to realize the development potential of the area.
So today's meeting is basically a technical team meeting where we are trying to rethink of how we can unlock rigidities, how we can identify key impact programs that the province needs to undertake in order to develop this province, in order to stimulate the economy, in order to create wealth in order to improve the human development of our province. And so we, from the first part, we had about 15 priority areas which were proposed, but out of 15 we only need to get 10, so that we can unlock and stimulate the economy within the province. So basically that is now what we are going to look at, and thereafter we are going to look at now, which is very, very important now, because the presidential delivery assignment is data-driven.
The Ndola Chamber of Commerce and Industry has called on engineers to take advantage of the pending proposed load-shedding plan in the country to invest in alternative sources of energy. Speaking during a press briefing, Ndola Chamber of Commerce and Industry President Joseph Malisawa said the country will require high energy production for the manufacturing industries and for the businesses to thrive. Marichola filled in this report.
The Ndola Chamber of Commerce and Industry has assured the business community that it will lobby for a better load-shedding schedule from Zambia Electricity Supply Corporation Limited.
The recent announcements and indications that we do expect load shedding in light of the weather pattern that we've had, it gives rise to desire as private sector to give input, particularly on the way forward, what we think will affect industry and what we think, to be able to go through this patch, what we think ought to be done. So we have engaged ZESCO, and very soon we should be having a meeting as private sector, particularly on the scheduling times.
The chamber has further called on engineers to venture into entrepreneurship.
So there is an opportunity for engineers to venture into entrepreneurship, to provide economic solutions, social solutions to problems that we are facing. One of them is the issue of the energy deficit, that as long as we keep investing or receiving investment in manufacturing and mining in whichever sector, the consumption of energy, the demand for energy will keep going up, meaning there will always be an opportunity for investment in the energy sector.
And small-scale businesses have appealed to government for empowerment.
Machines ngabatipira kwa machine ya kuchajara baita kuimpa batipira kwa machine ya kuchajara time ya ine amaraiti yalipo afine toaisha kwa kuchaja ma soda shantira fine.
Marichola for ZANIS in Ndola.
And in health news, the Ministry of Health has released 450,000 kwacha for some rehabilitation works at Kasama General Hospital in Northern Province. Provincial Health Director Ernest Mutale said 350,000 kwacha is meant for the renovation of the dilapidated children's ward, while 100,000 kwacha will cater for the laundry section. Kwetongoshe reports.
This is the status of the pediatric ward at Kasama General Hospital. The structure is in a dilapidated state, and this has forced authorities to close the ward to use alternative space within the hospital. On the other hand, the hospital's laundry section is yet another area that requires attention. Dr. Sach Moshamayanda is Kasama General Hospital Medical Superintendent.
Big cracks that the pediatric ward developed. And to this effect, last year around April, the building was condemned that we wouldn't continue using that. And because of that, we had to find space for pediatric ward. And because of that, we moved pediatric ward to surgical, and this has created a lot of problems of congestion. We have been operating with one laundry machine, and sometimes when we have breakdowns, it used to be an inconvenience for the hospital, because now we need to look around from the surrounding hospitals where we can do the laundry.
But now, Government has come to the aid of the hospital by providing funds towards the refurbishment of the two sections.
About 350,000 kwacha has been released, and we are happy that the children's block will be rehabilitated. In addition to that, we are happy to also say the laundry, which was also facing some challenges, has been given about 100,000 kwacha to do some facelift so that we can have the laundry working.
Gwetongosha for ZANIS in Kasama.
Habitat for Humanity Zambia has launched the Promoting Eco-Friendly Communities project aimed at combating lead contamination in Kabwe district of Central Province. And Provincial Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe, who was represented by Assistant Secretary Mwapeka Sanda at the official launch of the project, says government will implement stringent regulations and enforcement mechanisms to prevent further lead exposure to the residents of Kabwe. More in the following report.
For decades, Kabwe district has been plagued by the devastating effects of lead contamination, particularly in the soil and water sources. The toxic metal has not only harmed the health of residents, but also the environment and economy. It is from this background that Habitat for Humanity has launched the Promoting Eco-Friendly Communities project, which signifies progress and improved quality of life in relation to curbing lead contamination in Kabwe district. Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe was represented by Assistant Secretary Mwapeka Sanda at the official launch of the project.
As government, it is our solemn duty to address the pressing issue of lead contamination in our country. Lead contamination poses a significant threat to public health and the environment. And I'm happy that the new Dawn government, through the able leadership of His Excellency the President, Mr. Haggai Hichilema, is making some crucial and decisive action towards mitigating the problem.
Kabwe Mayor Patrick Shala says children are more vulnerable to the effects of lead poisoning.
The children of Kabwe are especially vulnerable to the effects of lead poisoning, suffering from developmental delays, learning difficulties, and a host of other health problems. It is our collective responsibility to protect the future generations of this town from this silent but deadly threat.
Meanwhile, Habitat for Humanity Zambia Programs Director Ruth Mitimingi is happy to be associated with the project.
Habitat for Humanity Zambia is complementing government efforts here in Kabwe to ensure that we are implementing a project that will address the issues of lead. And the project is titled Promoting Eco-Friendly Communities, Mitigating Lead Contamination and Promoting Sustainable Development. The overall objective of the project is to reduce lead contamination and promote a safer environment for affected communities in Mapululu and Waya informal settlement areas in Kabwe.
Daniel Billy for ZANIS News in Kabwe District.
The Zambia Meteorological Department, ZMD, has predicted progressive flash floods in northwestern and Mchinga provinces within this week. This is according to the latest weather update issued by the department. Here is a report.
The Zambia Meteorological Department says Northwestern Province has a high risk of recording flash floods today, Thursday, 7th March 2024. According to the latest weather update issued by the Meteorological Department, the areas likely to experience flash floods include Kabompo, Zambezi, Chavuma, and surrounding areas.
Because of the rainfall that we are going to receive, we are noticing that there are areas that are at risk of having flash floods. And areas over in the next 12 hours, up to say 18 hours, we're expecting that the risks in terms of flash floods, because of the rains that we are going to experience, is going to be over the northwestern province. Areas over Kabompo, areas over Zambezi, and surrounding areas are at high risk of experiencing flash floods.
Meanwhile, the Met Department has further cited Kazungula, Mpika, Lavshimanda, and Kanchibia as areas at risk of experiencing flash floods in the next 24 hours. However, in most parts of the country, the risk of flash floods is lower, according to Inmate Department.
Areas over Kazungula and surrounding areas that are also at risk in terms of the potential to have flash floods. We also have some areas over, the other areas over Northwestern Province. You can see that is Karumbila, Solwezi, and surrounding areas that are also at risk of experiencing flash floods because of the rains that we are projecting. We also have there Kanchibia, we have Mpika, we have Lavushmanda that are also have some risk of potential flash floods.
Most parts of the country are expected to experience rainfall activities from Thursday, 7th March, going into the weekend, but the rains will be below average.
Southern Province, parts of Lusaka Province, parts of Western Province will receive below average rainfall. But we are saying there's going to be an improvement in terms of rainfall activities. So moving forward, we're going to have improvements from the 7th up to the mid of March in terms of rainfall activities, but even the amounts that we are going to receive from there and will not be adequate to wipe off the deficits that we have received so far.
And Inmate Department says the rainfall activities to be experienced in most parts of the country are being influenced by the low pressure system over the coast of Madagascar.
We have a system, a low pressure system over the coastal Madagascar, which is tending to draw moisture from the Congo over into Zambia to give us more rainfall activities. In some places, like if you can see there, the places I was mentioning over Northwestern Province that are at high risk of flash floods, that's the system that is responsible.
The Zambia Meteorological Department has since implored members of the public to take precautions in the light of anticipated flash floods. For ZANIS, I'm Lakson Makodza.
Finally in the news, the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock in Luampa district of Western Province is currently providing training to livestock farmers on the techniques for producing animal feed from drought-affected crops. Dikoka Chingambu, a forage specialist from the ministry, emphasized the importance of farmers preparing for the drought which has affected the country. More in the following report.
The ongoing drought in Luampa district is posing significant challenges for both crops and the livestock industry. However, the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock is proactively responding by offering farmers training on processing and preserving maize stocks damaged by the drought for use as animal feed, ensuring the continued success of the livestock sector despite the tough circumstances.
Capacity building farmers on what they can do. So one of the key things that we're doing now is, if you look at the maize fields, we have maize fields that have not done well. And in most cases, farmers will just leave them and then sometimes burn them. So we're encouraging farmers to basically start conserving them in form of silage, conserve them in form of just drying them, so that that is part of the food that animals will eat in the near future. The farmers are also being encouraged and trained on conserving local grass whilst it's fresh.
Through this training, we have seen that most of them have appreciated a lot of what is happening. The next coming 7 to 8 months, it will be very, very critical to the livestock sector.
Kanyanda is one of the affected farmers.
Mikinto yetu na hulu yeko nekuni yaha kakuli kweza diversify ilika kubona kuli lukona kuswala moni mu mali njimo zalu na kwa butokwa haiba ni pale wa njimo ya alicho njimo ya alicho ya pala neni nikona kutuswa pe kalimu na nzeni utasina.
Amujolwe Himambo, reporting for ZANIS in Luampa district, Western Province.
As we end the news, a look at the stories that made headline. 10th Zambia-South Africa Joint Defense Committee meeting opens in South Africa. President Hichilema expected to grace the 2024 Women's Day commemoration. Inmates at Milima Correctional Facility embrace skills training. plus Muchinga northwestern provinces to record flash floods. It's on that note we end ZANIS News. On behalf of the entire ZANIS production team, I'm Alice Banda saying goodbye and God bless you.